Hey everyone, so I'm here with Nik Spyratos this time. Hey Nick.
Hey, glad to be
How
here.
are you?
I'm alive, eh? Just trying to keep warm. Cape Town's getting a bit chilly.
Yeah, I bet heading into winter now, aren't you?
Yeah, and that's why I sit right by the fireplace.
Good choice. Okay, so you said you're in Cape Town. Tell us a little bit more. It sounds like you've grown up there.
Yeah, I'm half Greek, half South African. I've spent quite a bit of time in both countries, and especially with things like the Eurozone crisis a while back, the opportunities were a bit more plentiful over here. So I've been back in South Africa for just about 11 years now. Yeah, built my career, studied here, made most of my friends here. This is where I'm at.
What did you study?
Diploma in IT, just IT basics.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. And what are you doing for work at the moment?
So I'm freelancing, mostly in the Laravel space.
Mm-hmm.
It's where I'm comfortable. It's also where I'm highly productive. Other tech choices might be better in some scenarios, but I feel like once Laravel gets a grip on some of us in the community, it doesn't let go.
Mm-hmm.
So other than that, yeah, freelancing, bit of community work, trying to launch my own thing here and there, and trying to take my time with it. Not trying to hustle, grind my way through life anymore. Cool.
Yeah, wise. We'll start off with PHP because that leads to Laravel. But how did you get into PHP?
It was very much just whatever they offered me at whatever job I could find at the time. So my first internship dev role was at an internet provider for local public colleges. It's very specialized niche provider. Mm-hmm. And they just needed a very, very cheap intern developer who their IT manager could mentor, and they needed random utility programs. So I spent that year building a bunch of stuff I built stuff in Perl, I built stuff in C#, some desktop utilities, and then I was most fond of what I did in PHP then. But given my lack of experience at the time, it was very much index.php plus functions and a bit of Bootstrap and jQuery, like a lot of us grew up with.
Yeah.
But I love that little program. I started.
Very, very easy to get started with PHP.
I remember in college, I didn't actually enjoy it that much because I hadn't had much experience with programming yet. But when I had a real world task to solve, then I had a much better time.
Yeah, that's good. So then I'm going to assume the years went by and you started to look at Laravel. So what triggered that?
Laravel was also a bit of a happenstance. I was looking at it towards the end of that internship, as it clearly seemed the next step, using a proper framework, using something with a lot of tools included.
Yeah.
I think I saw one or two products that had been built with it, and I was like, wow, this is some cool stuff. And then I was also trying to build a small network as a junior developer, trying to find some local community in South Africa of developers, see how they can help me and how I can help them. And I found my first proper junior developer role there, and that was also a Laravel-based shop. And that was the end of it, really. I've spent most of my career since on Laravel, and that was in the 5.2 days, 5.2 or 5.3.
Yeah. That's a good time to pick Laravel. I mean, obviously people are going to be joining now and they're going to be getting 11 and it's going to be fantastic for them. But I was about the same time, and that was a good time. That was a good base.
I will say, I know production apps out there that shall not be named that still run on 4.2 even.
Yep, same.
Yeah. Fun place to be.
Yeah. That means there's plenty of work out there.
Yeah.
I know that you were doing some side projects as well. Can you tell us a little bit? I guess those are built on Laravel.
Yeah, I mean, I've always taken some inspiration from the indie hacker sort of crowd and various other influences of like build your own business, build something sustainable, like at all sorts of scales. So yeah, I'm targeting at building my own lifestyle business here and there. But I'm trying to take the journey first, not the destination, because it's a very long road, as you well will know. Over the last few months, I spent a fair bit of time mostly on open source stuff, and that'll continue for the next month or two. I built my own little Laravel starter kit, which I'm calling Toybox, because I very much wanted to focus on kind of doing the wrong thing, but also just having fun with all the tools that are available. And then I built an SDK for a bank, which doesn't sound that glamorous, but in South Africa, the open banking system is very new. So banking APIs are also very new and very fun to play with. So trying to get in early on that. And my next projects are going to be also payment related in the payment provider space.
Interesting. Is this how we came to sort of know each other? Through payments?
I'm not sure. I feel like I found you on Twitter or Mastodon at some point, and then I followed you for a bit, and you were doing, I think, native PHP stuff, and then a lot of Laradir. And I'm like, and it was at the same time I was kind of going full time on freelancing, and I was like, hell yeah, love to see more of this. Keen to support it where I can.
Thanks. In the time that you've been working as a developer, your career, what would you say is your highlight? What are you most proud of?
I haven't really had any huge triumphs I'd go singing about. I mean, there's been career ups and downs. There's been the world turning upside down with lockdowns and all that. But I think I actually enjoyed the most just working with the right people in any capacity. There's been a few collaborators and colleagues over the years that have just really made the job far more worthwhile. And that's what I found more valuable, actually.
Right. Yeah, I can attest to that as well. The accolades aren't really that important compared to who you get to enjoy the experience with.
And over the years, things sound less impressive anyway. I can't talk about the same triumphs I had in my first year of development. That was like, I implemented some local scopes, cool story. But when I did it then, it was like, oh, wow, I'm so good at this.
Yeah, that's so true. So do you enjoy programming?
I do. I've struggled to kind of make deliberate time for it. The irony is I've enjoyed it far more when I'm doing it and not getting paid for it. But unfortunately, rent has to be paid. So, yeah, it's a kind of push and pull, I think, with working on stuff for my own sake and for myself, and then using the skill set for what it normally would be used for, which is doing the job, getting paid.
Yeah. I think programming is a fantastic thing to learn to do. And I think it's great for anyone to learn. And I think everybody can learn it as well.
I came to a point as a teenager where I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do as a career or study, but I know I spend a lot of time on the PC. I know I spend a lot of time modding games, especially Skyrim. Spent a lot of time modding that game. And I enjoyed the problem solving of installing things, setting up the load order, making sure everything works together. Why is this crashing? Like that sort of problem solving aspect really tickled my brain. And from that point, when I started studying, I was like, nah, programming has to be the thing.
Yeah, I've never done game modding, but that sounds like a great way to get into it.
Exactly. I never even built my own. I wasn't doing any coding or scripting with it. I was just downloading and installing stuff, and that was enough of a challenge on its own. The kids these days have it easy. They have mod loaders that just click download, sorts out the load order for you. Doesn't crash anymore.
It's quite cool though, isn't it? Like being able to like almost view source. I maybe you can't do it so much with the games and things these days, but the thing for me was in the browser, right click, view source. Start seeing how someone else has built something, start to replicate it yourself and twist it into the things that you want to do.
Exactly.
It's really enjoyable. Looking away from programming, what do you do when you're not working that kind of keeps you centered and at peace?
Well, I've found in the last few years that actually just getting outside a bit more really helps. My girlfriend and I recently moved out to a seaside town, so we're near Cape Town, but it's easy to say we're in Cape Town.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get the fresh ocean breeze. It's a 10-minute walk to the beach. We have a lawn. We're not in the middle of the city center with all the smoke and noise. So it's a meme to say touch grass, but it's really nice.
It's true. Yeah, it's a great way of like refreshing yourself. Cool. Well, it sounds like you've got a good setup. You're doing good work. You're enjoying it.
Yeah.
So tell me, why did you join Laradir?
Yeah, Laradir came up as a new platform. Seemed like a interesting new opportunity. I thought about building something similar myself a while back, but you beat me to the punch with that relaunch. And yeah, I'm always keen to support new projects coming up and see them grow. And obviously it's a quid pro quo. I mean, if I make a listing there and it gains some eyeballs and it helps out, then it's good for both of us.
Has it helped? Have you had any communications through it?
I'll be honest, not really. I think there's a kind of dynamic there related to who will be going on the site and filtering, which is going to be like, are they going to click on a random country like South Africa when they filter out developers? Maybe not. So I don't really blame it on that front. But yeah, normally when buyers will come on and look for developers or anyone will look for profiles, they'll be clicking on places they know, which is far more Europe, UK, US, those types of places.
Yeah.
But that's also another reason I'm there. I'm trying to help grow that side of it. It's the same reason I do the community work this side, trying to bring more presence of the South African talent abroad.
I think that's a really difficult problem with a platform like Laradir, and there are many others where it's got a sort of global reach from one angle, but without real effort in a specific market, it's quite challenging to tap into the needs that people have in that market. Awareness is a huge problem for something so young. I didn't build it. It's been around about 1.5 years now, but it still needs a lot of awareness generation to happen before it can kind of really penetrate. But it's getting there. So thanks for your support. Every little bit helps.
Exactly. Day by day, 1% better.
Tell us a little bit more about the community that you're running, because that sounds really interesting. You've only touched on that very slightly.
Yeah, the community stuff's always been something I've been doing for quite a while. I've been involved in the local tech scene for quite a while in the ZA Tech community. It's frankly one of the most active country-based Slack groups I've seen. I've done a bit of the world tour of every kind of regional Slack group I could find, and that was one of the big ones. And then around 2020, I took over what was called PHP Cape Town, that meetup from another developer who was a colleague at the time. We had one in-person meetup, and then lockdown hit. So we were doing mostly online meetups for about a year. After a while, we were still doing online stuff. So I reached out to the PHP Johannesburg guys, and I was like, we're all online, we're all doing the same thing. Why don't we merge it? So then we did PHP South Africa for a year or two. All of us got a bit busy, maybe a little bit burnt out with life. And that also took on a hiatus. And then last year, actually, I relaunched PHP South Africa for a brief while. Gained the same sort of community traction, but I kept finding that there was something missing in it for me. I can't just run meetups for a community, that's fine, but my heart wasn't in it as much as I would like to be. So I had to think about it, and I was like, I'm doing a lot more Laravel. Like, I love my fellow PHP devs, Symfony, WordPress, Magento, Cake, all of these people, you're great, but I'm on the Laravel side, and I'm also trying to focus specifically with Cape Town. And so I'm actually shut down PHP South Africa right now. I've turned it into more of a holding platform to try and support other PHP-based meetups. So mostly being like a link directory for like WordPress Cape Town and other meetups like that. And I've launched Laravel Cape Town in the last few months. We've just had our first in-person event a few weeks ago. We're hosting monthly watch parties for the worldwide meetup. And it's going pretty well. We'll see if we can get a Laracon South Africa going at some point.
That sounds very cool. How many people are you getting going to the live events?
So about the same as with the PHP meetups as well, which has been between 20 and 30 in person.
Cool, that's good.
It's also partly venue dependent. So some hosts can't take as many people, so we just don't allow as many in. But yeah, I was really excited to see that 25 to 30 range show up at the last event. It gave me a lot of hope for future.
Yeah, that's great. Long may it continue and grow. And if there's anything I can do to help, please let me know.
Will do. Thank you.
Final question. What car do you drive?
So I drive a 2015 Audi TT. It is one of my childhood favorite cars, and I'm just enough of a car guy where I was like, if I had to have one car, it would be that. I found a good deal, and I've had it for about a year now, and it's a dream to drive.
Excellent. So no Lamborghini for you?
No, but we'll have this as the Laradir exclusive news. I'm applying for a custom Laravel license plate. So if I get it through, I will own Laravel-Western Province in South Africa.
You'll have to send us a picture. I'd love to see that.
Just waiting for it. Yeah, I'm waiting for the application to go through, and that's the branding we need.
Cool, excellent. Well, Nik, it was great to spend some time chatting with you, getting to know you a little bit better. And thanks for sharing this with me.
Thank you for having me.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.